Happy Wednesday. Good morning. It is October the 11th. This episode of the Guy R. Cook Report is somewhat of a shameless plug in that on Wednesday, what's on our mind? We're going to talk about the Guy R. Cook questions in detail for assessing you, give you a little bit of help in making your company transparent. That's what we intended to do with those questions. As you know, you can go to blog.guyrcookonlineservices.com and see the link right there, the Guy R. Cook Report questions. Bazinga, that's where we're going. There we are. The Guy R. Cook Report questions is 27 questions for you to pick 5 of that we'll use to put together your interview, to make your company transparent. Remember, people buy from people they know. And if you go to the link there in the show notes, it says firetalk.com whack the Guy R. Cook Report. That'll make sure that your equipment and your Twitter login, your mic and camera, and everything is as it should be so we can do the interview. Wouldn't that be nice? And so once you've tested the hardware, you make sure you're compatible. Then you go through this list of 27 questions, and I'm displaying them right there on the screen. It goes from, what are you most passionate about? What do you like to do? And this list was born out of a need to say something different instead of, what do you do? Well, it might be great for an elevator speech, but would it be nice if that elevator speech question, instead of saying, what do you do, they say, who in the world would you most like to have a meal with, living or dead? And, of course, mine is William the Conqueror, because he's like a king. Anyway, that's another show, another episode. We talked about the relationship between William the Conqueror and Guy R. Cook. Thank you, Aunt Barbara, for doing that research. Anyway, take a look at these questions, if you would. Pick 5 of them. Email them back to me. You can go to this link right here where it says Contact Guy and get it to me, and we'll set you up and do that interview. If we go back to the show notes, right below the Guy R. Cook Report questions link, there's the planning session guide. If we need to talk about that, give me a holler. Thanks to the patrons that are patrons of the show. Special thanks to our, I guess, the grandfather. He started this podcast idea. Fraser Ramsey, one Thursday afternoon, says, hey, let's do a podcast. Well, it was born. Fraser's company is the Edinburgh Dusters. If you're on that side of the ocean, give them a holler. There's a link right there in the show notes. Thanks to Eileen Smith for telling us about Screencast-O-Matic. They just updated to a new version. I got it downloaded and installed today. Hopefully it's going to work. The people at Friends Just Chatting, it's a Facebook group, are waiting for you to join and be a member. You can listen to the podcast on all the usual suspects, Apple Podcasts and Spreaker. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. We're on Google+, Pinterest, Reddit, all the usual suspects. And like it shows right there at the bottom of the note, you scroll down and it's going to say, thanks for listening. The Guy R. Cook Report, what's on our mind? In conclusion, that's right, it's a wrap.